It's a pleasant good evening and a hearty welcome to News R. In this edition, Ministry of Health and Sanitation calls on Sierra Leoneans to be vigilant during the rainy season to avoid cholera. Parliamentarians to stop receiving constituency development funds in 2019. Minister of Finance Jacob Jusuf signs a $10 million loan finance agreement with World Bank. And police release on bail popular comedian Ibrahim Kamara, also known as Sarah the Great. Well, these stories and more plus sports and business are lined up in this edition of News Hour. With me, Alice Mayama Thompson. Stay put. Welcome back. First in the news tonight, from 2019, Parliament will cease to pay Constituency Development Fund to members of Parliament. This year, lawmakers will receive their final CDF fund, which according to the Speaker of Parliament, should be used exclusively to construct or rent constituency offices. Patrick Salia was in Parliament.
Yeah, for this year, the money is already budgeted for, the 62 million. Say by August end to September, each member of Parliament will be given that money and Parliament will monitor it, and that money is specifically dedicated to either constructing or renting of constituency offices.
He is Honorable Umar Parantawali, Clerk of Sierra Leone's Parliament, who was appointed into that office by President Julius Maada Bio in April this year. The rationale, according to him, is to enhance effective representation, with MPs now having an office space, a must for all.
Each constituency in Sierra Leone will have an office space with a small room for the MP and a parlor that will be used as a lobby where members of the constituency can engage their MPs on very pertinent matters on their welfares, etc.
As the name Constituency Development Fund suggests, the monies that have been coming for the past years were for the purposes of development of the constituencies. Most MPs had rather preferred the money be used to satisfy their unmitigated, self-ambitious development projects, while majority of their constituents remain in squalid conditions, even in the constituencies within the capital, Freetown. Local civil rights activists have repeatedly accused members of Parliament of not being able to account for the amounts given to them for constituency development. Those monies were initially made available to MPs during the first half of the last Parliament as funds for facilitation, but was later converted by the pool of donors for some small-scale development that could cushion the harshness of constituency work on the lawmakers.
Constituency Development Fund is a fund meant to augment MPs in their developmental strides in their different constituencies. But over the years, it has posed more problems for them than it has solved it.
So this decision, which the clerk said was reached at unanimously by the House, and the estimated 63 million leones subsequently transferred to complement the local council's operations, is now expected to save the neck of the elected lawmakers from the high expectations of their electorates. It is however not clear yet what or how much the replaced allocation would be or look like.
The Ministry of Health and Sanitation has called on Sierra Leoneans to be vigilant during the rainy season to avoid cholera. They are concerned that in the rainy season, there is possible contamination of water through improper sewage system, poor handling of drainages, and uncovered food. The ministry is calling on people in slums, hospitals, and markets to keep their vicinities clean. Soyiba Samora reports.
Cholera is the worst form of diarrhea, which, according to health experts, if not tackled, can cause avoidable loss of life. It leaves someone weak and unconscious as a result of dehydration. It kills those that have weak resistance despite medication. Slum dwellers are sometimes highly prone to diseases such as cholera or any other ailment related to improper sanitation. At King Jimmy Wharf, traders are concerned about the sewage system that is transporting excreta believed to have come from a public toilet. The vice chairlady of the Petersbrook Market, King Jimmy, Adama Kamara, says the public toilet at the market is posing a health hazard. She said after the construction of the King Jimmy Bridge, the sewage system did not ever work the way it used to be because human waste run with the water in the drainage and is deposited right near the market. Adama explained that before now, the Freetown City Council used to collect the human waste from the Petersbrook Market using a cesspit waste vehicle. The vice chairlady of the King Jimmy Market, Adama Kamara, told SLBC that they are deeply concerned that should human waste continue to pass through the drainage and deposited near the market area, this can cause cholera. She called on government and the Freetown City Council to move fast and fix the sewage system at the King Jimmy Market. Other stakeholders doing business around the King Jimmy Market expressed similar concerns about the sewage leak on top of the King Jimmy Bridge and called for the attention of authorities to it. SLBC News, I am Soyiba Samora.
The Minister of Finance, Jacob Jusu Safar, has signed a $10 million loan finance agreement with the World Bank on the Agro-Processing Competitiveness Project. The project is to be implemented jointly by the Ministries of Trade and Agriculture. Ahmed Sise was there.
According to Jacob Jusu Safar, Minister of Finance, a major component of the new direction is diversification of the economy. Therefore, reiterates government's commitment in creating favorable environment for the private sector. He noted that increasing competitiveness in agro-processing projects will contribute to finance small-medium enterprise in agro-business, nurture agro-processing and improve productivity. The minister assured the World Bank that funds of the projects will be utilized for the intended purpose. Gail Martin is the World Bank country manager in Sierra Leone. She said the project is in line with the bank's agenda to address the constraints in private sector and to help unlock its potentials. Minister of Trade and Industry, Peter Bayoko Conte, said his ministry is working to create a conducive atmosphere for private sector players. He promised to work with the Ministry of Agriculture for the successful implementation of the project.
The Minister of Labour and Social Security, Adekunle King, has said the government is going to make migration an option, not a must. He made the statement at the launching of the National Labour Migration Policy of Sierra Leone at the Mianta Conference Hall in Freetown. Maya Masuma reports.
Many Sierra Leoneans have the desire to migrate overseas with its associated negative effects, like brain drain, smuggling and trafficking of persons through the Mediterranean, which is leading to the loss of lives of people in the country. To avoid this risk of people putting their lives in danger just to acquire jobs overseas in the wrong way, the government, through the Ministry of Labour and Social Security, has now launched the National Labour Migration Policy for the country. Minister of Labour and Social Security Adekunle King said the labour migration policy of the Republic of Sierra Leone was produced through extensive consultations amongst all concerned stakeholders and international agencies. He added that the objective of the policy is to have a legislative framework for effective labour governance.
The policy aims to develop a long-term vision for labour migration in the country within the framework of our overall development strategy, the new direction. Under the new direction of retired Brigadier General Julius Marbiu, we are going to make migration an option and not a must.
Launching the policy, Minister of Basic and Secondary Education, Alpha Timbu, appreciated all those who in diverse ways helped to develop the policy.
I want to take this distinct pleasure and honor to officially launch the National Labour Migration Policy of the Republic of Sierra Leone. We commit it to the people of Sierra Leone, but more particularly to those who over the years have been yearning to traverse overseas to explore further opportunities. We as Sierra Leoneans, we have benefited immensely from the expertise of other nationals, including the technical support that is provided in formulating this policy. So cross-border knowledge is very important if nations will continue to progress.
President of the Sierra Leone Labour Congress, Jennings Wright, said that the Congress, together with the government, have been fighting very hard to have a proper policy that will help protect migrants, especially those going through the Temple Run.
If there is no proper policy, then those who are rogues will have their day. I will refer to the Temple Run. People who have been smuggled from Sierra Leone through Guinea to go to the wider world to work. I am also very happy that the Minister of Education is here. If migrant movement should have the economic effect for Sierra Leone, then our technical and vocational institute must be properly equipped and give the facilities to those who want to go to that technical area.
Representative from the International Center for Migration Policy Development, Amala, said in 2015 the ministry approached them with a request for technical support for the formulation of national migration policy for country, which they did and has now translated into a complete working tool. SLBC TV, Maria Masuma reporting.
Police have released on bail popular local comedian Ibrahim Kamara, alias Sarah the Great. He was arrested a few days ago following the death of 2 children in the compound where the comedian resides at Wellington. The corpses were found in a derelict vehicle in the compound. According to the head of police media, Superintendent Brahma Kamara, Sarah was released due to less involvement pending police investigation in line with Section 80 of the Criminal Procedure Act. After his release at the CID headquarters, Sarah admonished his fans to stay calm as the police are only doing their job. Meanwhile, the police will continue their investigation on the death of the 2 children. The Director of Community and Media Relations of the Sierra Leone Police has called on the general populace to be always mindful and responsible when they are on the media. Assistant Inspector General of Police Kalia Sisei was speaking at the police weekly press briefing held at the police headquarters, George Street. Doreen Barry reports.
The Assistant Inspector General of Police, Kalia Sisei, informed the media about their recent press release, which reminds the public to be cautioned and be responsible on issues discussed in the media. He said discussing issues without proper research and evidence have a tendency to create insecurity, fear and instability in the country.
So we are not biased. We try to uphold human rights to the greatest extent. In all our dealings, we are giving people, as I mentioned earlier, the press release is not to intimidate anyone. Don't fear. You are our brothers, we are you are our sisters, and we all live together. But the law needs to be supreme over us. So we are mindful of our rules, and any issue that erupts, we are there to make sure we perform our role as expected.
On the recent alleged brutality and assault that led to the death of Albert Madison Bio, a member of the Climax Club of the University of Sierra Leone, the police said 3 of the suspects have been arrested whilst trying to escape to neighboring countries. According to the police, the suspects are helping them with their investigations. AIG Kalia Sise said that the Chinese, Turks, and 5 locals that were arrested at Nimiama Chiefdom, Kono District, for illicit gold mining have been sentenced 2 years each with alternative fine of $2,000 each. According to AIG Kalia Sise, the police are investigating 31 Chinese for involving on illegal mining of gold and other minerals at Masanga Town, Tonkolil District. AIG Kalia Sise spoke about effort to curb the spate of armed robbery, citing the arrest of a 5-star general of the Blood Clique group, Umaru Koka, along the Kutan Road. He called on the public to cooperate with the Sierra Leone police to give information that will lead to the arrest of any 5-star general, saying a reward of 2 million leones will be granted to the informants.
Launched Operation One Port. The operation will increase Council's revenue generation drive. The launching ceremony took place at the Freetown City Council at Wallace Johnson Street. Darin Barry again.
Tax collection by the Freetown City Council has been a challenge for past mayors, a trend the Yvonne Akisoya-led council wants to change. The introduction of Operation One Port is coming at a time when the council is in a hurry to increase its revenue base for effective service delivery. Operation One Port will see the reintroduction sanitation inspectors in various homes. The Chief Administrator of the Freetown City Council, Festus Kale, said Operation One Port is designed to enforce tax compliance within the municipality. He spoke about the council's efforts in building the confidence of the people to be paying their taxes. He said the council has contracted some banks who have created kiosks for the collection of taxes as a way of reducing corruption and promote transparency. Deputy Mayor of the Freetown City Council, Usman Kuruma, called on the people of the municipality to comply with the council by paying their tax. He said the council is determined to increase its revenue generation drive, as that will help them in their service delivery.
The people of Smallbo and Nyawa Chiefdoms in constituency 011 in the Kenema district have endorsed Honorable Musa Peter Moigua as their new hope for development in the constituency. Aruna Patrick Kamar was there and now reports.
It was a joyful moment for the people of Constituency 011 for over a decade as they gathered again as one people to discuss issues bordering the betterment of their communities. A long-awaited ceremony came to pass through the intervention of their newly elected Member of Parliament of Constituency 011, Honorable Musa Peter Moigua. This according to the Paramount Chief of Smallbo Chiefdom PC Mohamed Dafi Benya. Honorable Moigua is the first Member of Parliament that has brought together all authorities of the 4 chiefdoms in the constituency to discuss about peace and development. He said over the past years, political leaders in the constituency have left their constituents in disarray and commended the current Member of Parliament for bringing the communities together. Paramount Chief Benya calls on the government to improve on the health facilities, township roads, public toilets and better communication system in the chiefdoms. The Minister of Health and Sanitation, Dr. Alpha Wui, said the government is working very hard to improve the health system in the country. He assured them that the Kenema Government Hospital will be the regional hospital for the Eastern region with adequate medical facilities to make sure proper treatment is provided to the people. He encouraged the people to work with their representatives as he is a person with foresight ready to represent them well, assuring them of his ministry's support to their Member of Parliament. The Councillor Ishmael Kuruma of Ward 031 described Honorable Musa Peter Moigua as a blessing to the people of Constituency 011 and assured him of their unflinching support. The Member of Parliament Honorable Musa Maigua assured his people that he will represent them well in Parliament. He said he will implement 40 physical projects in all 4 chiefdoms that make up of his constituency in his first term of office as a Member of Parliament. Honorable Musa said he is enjoying a good working relationship with the authorities in his constituency and called on his people to work in unison for the development of the people and the area. He said under his New Hope agenda for the constituency, he will add value to the politics and champion development of his people. The Deputy Leader of the House of Parliament, Honorable Martin Yuma, said under the new direction, all politicians are mandated to work closely with their people for the development of their communities.
Caritas Freetown, in collaboration with Caritas Germany, has launched its flooding mitigation intervention project in Culvert community, east end of Freetown. The flood mitigation project is designed to reduce the effects of disasters in communities. Let's join Darren Barry.
The flood mitigation program is part of preventive measures to avert flooding and other disaster risk in disaster-prone communities. It could be recalled that the Culvert community was among communities affected by last year's flash floods. Executive Director, Caritas Freetown, Reverend Father Peter Conte, said the disaster mitigation program is to help reduce the effects of flooding and other disasters within the Culvert community. The flood mitigation program will also teach community people within the community on disaster prevention. Implementing partners on disaster risk management spoke about the need of having a healthy environment and called on the people to always be mindful of how they dispose of their waste. Community members within the Culvert community commended Caritas Freetown for their support in helping them prevent disasters.
The World Bank, through the Ministry of Mines and Mineral Resources, has supported the National Minerals Agency with 20 motorbikes to monitor mining activities in Sierra Leone. Aruna Patrick Kamar witnessed the handing over ceremony at the National Minerals Agency office, New Englandville, in Freetown.
On behalf of the people of Sierra Leone, on behalf of the Ministry of Mines and Mineral Resources, Mr. Director General, I hand you the keys. 20 motorbikes to monitoring.
Effective monitoring of widespread mining activities across the country requires accessible and easy transportation to access hard-to-reach areas with poor terrain where mining is operational. Mines monitors have been deployed to monitor mining operations in Sierra Leone to halt illegal miners who bent on exploiting the country's minerals wealth. The mines monitors would not perform these national tasks without means of transportation to facilitate their movement and make their work easier. Hence, the swift support by the World Bank with 20 motorbikes to the National Minerals Agency to facilitate the movement of its mines monitors carry out their work. Handing over the keys to the Director General, National Minerals Agency Sawundi, the Minister of Mines and Mineral Resources, Dr. Maureen Maye, said as a ministry, they are concerned about the monitoring of mining activities across the country. He said the provision of these bikes will enhance the movement of monitors across the mining communities in the country. Dr. Maher commended the World Bank for their continued support to the mining sector. The project coordinator, Extractive Industry Technical Assistance, World Bank-funded project Mustafa Sheku Jibril said since 2010, they received funding from the World Bank to capacitate the National Minerals Agency to enhance mines monitoring work. He said this is one of the project interventions to strengthen the monitoring sector of the agency. Receiving the keys and documents of the bikes, the Director General of the National Minerals Agency, Sawundi, recalled that during his address in the Well of Parliament, President Bill said improving capacity of the mining sector is paramount. He said mining must be carried out in a responsible manner and respect of laws in the country. Mr. Wunde said the provision of these bikes is part of World Bank's support to the agency in promoting the mining sector in the country. He recalled on the Mines Monitor to use the bikes for their intended purposes.
Party Ambassador Dr. Ousmane Sané has taken a swipe at the first 100 days of the ruling Sierra Leone People's Party-led government. At a press briefing held on Wednesday, Dr. Yansane said human rights abuses, among others, have characterized the first 100 days of the new government. Reporter Joseph Toure attended the briefing.
According to the Secretary General of the All People's Congress Party, the government's transition team report is a carefully orchestrated tool targeted at selected people based on their political association. He noted that the past 100 days abuse of human rights, as in the case of the arrest of the ADP leader and the civil society activist Edmond Abu, among others. Ambassador Ousmane Sané also said that some people were also unlawfully removed from their offices, as in the case of former Anti-Corruption Commissioner Ade Macaulay. He added that the 100 days exposed the inexperience of the Bio's government.
President Julius Maada Bio's stewardship to the nation in his first 100 days. A retrospective of what the Bio administration impresses on the minds of the people of this country in its 100 days exposes inexperience in the elements of good governance.
Ambassador Yansana denied rumors that the APC party is planning to demonstrate on the 30th of July when former Vice President Victor Bokarifo and former Minister of Mines Minkailu Mansare will appear in court on allegations of corruption.
The unfounded and despicable rumor is patently untruthful. It is designed to frame the APC in a false light to traduce its good name. The APC is a law-abiding political party. It subscribes to the Constitution of Sierra Leone and all its laws.
According to the Secretary General, the APC party is peaceful and has respect for the rule of law. He called on their membership to keep the peace and be law-abiding.
A team of investors from Mauritania, ASML Group, has held discussions with the Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Dr. Ali Kaba. The visits came after President Bio's engagement with investors at the recently held African Union Summit in Mauritania. Hawana Tukonte reports.
After President Bio's engagement with investors at the recently held African Union Summit in Mauritania aimed at exploring possible areas of investment in the country. According to the head of the AMMEL Group, Mohideen Ahmed Salikbo, the visit was to explore possible avenues of investment with a view to enhancing the economic and social development of the country in line with the New Direction policy. He said the group was established in 1961 and is now a major industrial group that is active in various sectors of Mauritanian national economy, including energy, infrastructure, and agro-industry. Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Dr. Ali Kaba, said the New Direction pays premium on public-private sector partnership that will enhance the socio-economic development. He noted that the importance of investment in infrastructure, energy, and agribusiness is to help the economy grow. Dr. Kaba said public-private sector partnership will create an impact on the economy by making the country more competitive. He said his ministry will create a conducive environment for potential investors in Sierra Leone to attain the object of the New Direction. In another engagement, the Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Nematullah Bachan, has said that for the past 4 years, it has been challenging for Egypt amidst high hopes and expectations from its people, but that the country will soon overcome its challenges. She made a statement during a ceremony to mark the commemoration of the 66th anniversary of the Arab Republic of Egypt. Mrs. Bachani implored the current leadership to view the challenges faced as a stepping stone to rapid economic development and also inclusion in the governance of the country, while looking forward to learning lessons from the successes in overcoming them. Deputy Minister also underscored the long-standing bilateral relations between Sierra Leone and Egypt that transcend politics and entail strong and deep social, economic, cultural, and educational ties. She said they want to leverage on the role and proximity of Egypt to the Middle East to contribute to the peace process in that region. The ambassador of Egypt to Sierra Leone, Maha Ahmadi, stated that Egypt's relations with Sierra Leone are derived from the common African region, respect, and the aspirations for a better future. The Egyptian ambassador highlighted some of the country's contribution in enhancing capacity through specialized and diversified training programs and conferences, including journalism, agriculture, women's empowerment, finance, health, and education, among others. He noted that Egypt's private sector in Sierra Leone is contributing to the cooperation between Egypt and Sierra Leone.
As the consumption of alcohol and drug is on an alarming rate in the country, campaigners for the formation of national alcohol policy for the country have held discussions on its relevance in Freetown. The seminar was organized by the Sierra Leone Alcohol Policy Alliance together with the Ministry of Health and Sanitation with support from Food Sierra Leone. Ibrahim Samoa reports.
Is among countries in the sub-region that lack a national alcohol and drug policy. And according to the Ministry of Health, alcohol consumption is on the increase in the country, especially among young people, though there are no comprehensive records or data. This threat has led campaigners to hold this seminar to raise more awareness on alcohol-related harm, relationship with the Sustainable Development Goals, and the relevance of formulating a national alcohol policy for the country. Campaigners discuss a range of topics on alcohol misuse, the role of the Ministry of Health in the development of a national alcohol control, the roles of the media in alcohol control, the law reform and the review of laws, the Standards Bureau in alcohol control, and civil society organizations in the development of the policy. Chairman of the Sierra Leone Alcohol Policy Alliance, Ibrahim Kamara, said the seminar was to enhance collaborative relationship between the alliance, MDs, and the media to support the development and implementation of the policy and regulatory framework and control. He underscored the importance of curbing the misuse of alcohol, noting that the issue is not only a community concern but also a global threat. Mr. Kamara said the misuse of alcohol has socio-economic and societal effects. The program director for Roots, William Dowda, said currently the country does not have an alcohol policy. He said the seminar was also hosted to remind the government of President Bio to see the need to formulate an alcohol policy that will control production, marketing, and consumption, among others. Mr. Dowda underscored the contributions of MDs, civil society organizations, and the media on the dangers of alcohol and the link to the Sustainable Development Goals, saying that evidence shows that alcohol adversely affects the achievements of 13 of 17 Sustainable Development Goals. Dr. Santuri is the Director of Communicable Diseases, Ministry of Health. He said the misuse of alcohol among youth is a concern for the Health Ministry, describing alcohol as a psychoactive substance which leads to physical and mental disorders, physical impairment, pressure, and unprotected sex, among others. Dr. Santuri highlighted the risks associated with abuse of alcohol and its negative effects to the country. Speaking on the role of the media in the control of alcohol, the spokesperson of SLAJ, Princess Gibson, underscored the role of the media in the campaign for the formation of a national alcohol policy and the dissemination of messages on the dangers of alcohol misuse. She said SLAJ views the misuse of alcohol as not only a public health concern, but also a societal problem, especially among young people, stressing that it should be nipped in the bud. Madam Gibson assured the alliance of SLAG's unflinching support at all times. According to the WHO's Global Status Report 2012, 3.3 million people died due to the misuse of alcohol in the world. It increases people's risk and responsible for over 200 diseases. Campaigners and the Alliance for the Formulation of a National Alcohol Policy said the 2018 Supplementary Finance Act, which calls for an increase in the importation of liquor, will undermine their efforts and will help to promote the proliferation of alcohol in the country. Ibrahim Samura, Freetown.
Sierra Leone not exempted are still living below $2 a day. This is according to the Minister of Finance, Jacob Jusuf. He made the statement at the launch of the Global Fragility Report titled Escaping the Fragility Trap and the report on underlying causes of fragility and instability in Sierra Leone. The event took place at the Miata Conference Center in Freetown. Maya Masuma reports.
Greater attention should be paid to delivering basic security and jobs in states affected by conflict and instability. This is according to a recent report from the Oxford Commission on State Fragility, Growth and Development, chaired by former UK Prime Minister David Cameron and co-chaired by Dr. Donald Keburuka, former president of the African Development Bank, and Dr. Adnan Khan, Research and Policy Director of the International Growth Center, IGC. This report, which was launched on the 19th April 2018 at an event at the Center for Global Development in Washington, D.C., argues that the Sustainable Development Goals will not be reached unless international donors stop asserting their own unrealistic priorities and take a more pragmatic, patient approach to addressing the syndrome of fragility. The Global Fragility Report, titled Escaping the Fragility Trap, and the report on underlying causes of fragility and instability in Sierra Leone were simultaneously launched by the Minister of Finance, Jacob Jusuf. Launching the two reports, Minister of Finance, Jacob Jusuf, appreciated the IGC for putting the report together. He added that there is much more to do in improving the living standards of people around the globe.
Notwithstanding, there's much more to do, as almost 900 million people are still living on less than $2 a day in many parts of the world's poorest countries. Infant and maternal mortality rates are very high, continue to be high, though they will be declining. Access to clean water and electricity is still a major challenge. The societies in such countries are trapped in a syndrome of interlocking vicious cycles, making it harder to make sustained progress. State fragility has been the cause and consequence of some of the major challenges. I'm pleased on behalf of His Excellency, President Julius Maada Bio, to formally launch the report titled The Underlying Causes of Fragility and Instability in Sierra Leone. The underlying causes of fragility and instability in Sierra Leone.
Former President of Liberia, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, who witnessed the launching, commended the International Growth Center for the report.
This report is something that is going to be very useful to Liberia as we look at the lessons that will be covered, or has been covered by the report, in trying to address similar issues of fragility in our own country. And so to all participants here, I just wish for you a time to really read this report thoroughly, and look at its findings, look at the recommendations, so that each of you can make a contribution to ensure that your country move toward the sustainability of the growth and development.
Co-chaired Fragility, Dr. Donald Keburuka said, escaping fragility is by necessity a slow, step-by-step, and often imperfect process. He said international support will be needed, but the chances of success are higher if a country and its people are in the driver's seat. And the first step is security, which requires a large degree of locally led rebuilding of trust.
I fundamentally believe, and this report says so, fragility can be overcome. It all depends upon the people and the leaders. It can be overcome. And in this one, you're not alone. Many other countries have gone through this or worse, and have come through. And in overcoming these challenges, there's no prototype, there's no model. Don't look outside for a model, a country to copy from. It does not exist. The solutions are here, and there will be local solutions.
Meanwhile, recommendations in the Global Fragility Report titled Escaping the Fragility Trap state that national leaders facing situations of fragility should be sharing suggestions based on contemporary and evidence of what works and what does not in promoting transformative politics, security, economic growth and resilience. SLBC TV, Mariama Suma reporting.
Well, let's now take a pause on the menu stories and go over to the entertainment desk and join Muhammad King Milan Bangura.
Alhaji Mohamed Toure is an artist whose stage name is Kojo Banti. Kojo started his educational background at the Sierra Leone Muslim Brotherhood Primary School in Wellington and at St. Helena and Muslim Congress, where he sat his WASC exams. In 2008, he got his Association of Business Executive at IPAM. Kojo said he got his stage name from a popular musician called K-Man, who told him he resembled the Jamaican rapper Kojo Man. Kojo started his love for music way back as a promoter for various musicians in the country before finally settled as a musician himself.
I've been in this game for a long time. First as a promoter, but it comes to a time I realized myself, my talent. So people say, do this thing. I say no. It happened suddenly. I don't know how it happens when I came to entertainment.
Kojo Banti is now signed in a music label called 606 Empire, owned by his elder brother based in the UK. And the label already signed in 6 other musicians. Kojo just releases 2 music videos called Na The Corner and Don't Cheat On Me.
So I come up with this idea, this Na The Corner. I started like miming, without no beats, just free miming, without no instrument. If you watch the video, you can see the drama. It makes sense. And Don't Cheat On Me, like the girl is dating 2 of us, okay? But like she's pretending as if she's in love with me alone. Really, she's in love with another man.
Why you dey cheat on me? Why I don't give you the finest Range Rover? Why you dey cheat on me? Why I don't buy you the latest design?
Sierra Leonean painter and TV host Nene Adakoroma, known as Queen Nak, based in China, is back in Sierra Leone after 8 years. Queen Nak said she's back to enjoy the beauty of her country. Ada came this time not only as a painter but also as a musician. She just released a new music video called Come Back. Why this title?
Come Back Home, it's all about, okay, the special person of just now, I was with him at the time and he only went to the US for a music tour and he was going to leave. So I knew I was going to miss him and I wanted to write a song for him to know that I want him to come back. Any sunny day I did wait for you. Any time you go, I go wait for you.
Queen Nak said she's working on an album and has already recorded 6 songs. And now she's planning to record more songs in Sierra Leone and in America. On the role as a philanthropist, Queen Nak said a Queen Nak Foundation is planning to organize a fundraising festival in China to raise funds for Sierra Leone to help the government in helping domestic violence. She said she will soon meet with the First Lady, Mrs. Fatima Bio.
I started Quina Foundation because I can say I'm a good person. I love people. I'm trying to meet with the First Lady because she's a mom for everyone here. I've been working with the past First Ladies. Yep. So now that they are in power, I have to work with them to help, because sometimes people, they don't help, they keep it. But if I send it to the First Lady, I'll be rest assured that she's going to do it.
So Queen Nak said she's planning to shoot a reality TV show in Sierra Leone, and on her personal life, she settled rumors in the social media about her romantic love life with a popular Sierra Leonean singer, Maurice, popularly known as Wonder Boy.
Absolutely, it's so true. I love him so much, and I want to spend the rest of my life with him.
And he's ready for that too?
Yeah.
And now for sports, Esther Maisamura is all set.
It's a hearty welcome to Sports Updates on News Hour. I am Esther Maisamura. In this edition, Sierra Leone Cultural Ambassador to China and Ambassador of Athletics Association, Mayatu Kabo, through her organization, has offered sporting equipment and jersey to the executive of the Sierra Leone Athletics Association. The items were handed over through the Ministry of Sport, Ibrahim Yelenke, in his Bishop House office in Freetown. Here is a report.
This offer came at a time when Sierra Leone is preparing to participate in the African Senior Athletics Championship, which will be held in Asaba, Delta State of Nigeria, from Wednesday, the 1st to the 5th of August, 2018. Mayatu Kagbo has noted this sporting equipment, worth millions of leones to the association, will be used by the athletes and officials in the African Senior Championship in Nigeria. Presenting the jersey and equipment on behalf of her sister, Frances Monu said the gesture came as a result of her sister's goodwill to the nation and promised to do more.
She's an ambassador representing us in China. She's a patriotic Sierra Leonean who knows no color, who knows no tribe, who knows no boundary, as it relates to Sierra Leone. She has been working very hard. She has done so much for this country, and she has the willingness to continue to help in diverse ways.
Minister of Sports Ibrahim Yelenke, on behalf of his ministry, thanked Mayatu Kagbo and called on her to continue to support the athletics family in Sierra Leone.
It is good that we started seeing such people, donating to some disciplines. I hope this will continue, and I hope Madam Kagbo, as she has started demonstrating her patriotism, her commitment to see that Athletics Association become a continuous entity to deliver for this country. I hope she will continue to do more contributions to our sporting facilities.
President of the Sierra Leone Athletics Association, Abdul Karim Sisei, said their hands are widely opened for more support from other corporate institutions or individuals. Esther Maisamura, SLBC TV.
And in Munich today at the Central Football Association Inter-Area Football Competition, Shell Dwellers are through to the semi-final of the ongoing COFA competition after they had a 1-1 draw with Clienttown Community and later progressed to a post-penalty shootout in which Shell Dwellers defeated Clienttown football team by 4-2. Tomorrow, Durazak FC will be locking hands with Lumley football team. That's the latest update in sports. I am Esther Maisama. Thanks for watching.
And with sports, News Hour comes to a close. But before we go, quick at the top stories. Ministry of Health and Sanitation has called on Sierra Leoneans to be vigilant during the rainy season to avoid cholera. Parliamentarians to stop receiving constituency development funds in 2019. Minister of Finance Jacob Jusuf has signed a $10 million loan finance agreement with World Bank. And police have released on bail popular comedian Ibrahim Kamara, also known as Sarah the Great. Well, that's all in this edition of News Hour, broadcast live on the Sierra Leone Broadcasting Service or Corporation. Thanks for your time. I'm Alice Mohamed Thompson.